Someday. Where is it? Here it is. Kane!
Yeah?
Do you want to review this?
Yeah, right.
So, hello everybody. We're back with a review in space, and it's been a while since, it's been so long since we've actually just done a review in person, and this time it's going to be more obscure. What are we doing? We're doing More Than 30 Years in the TARDIS.
A documentary made after the 7th Doctor about the 30 years, clearly.
Exactly. And I wanted to do it with you, mainly because I have my perspective as a classic Doctor Who fan, and then I want to see what your view is, just watching this about, because bearing in mind, the only classic episodes you've actually watched any of is seen glimpses of Genesis of the Daleks, and you've watched Remembrance of the Daleks. I'm pretty sure that's it. Anyway, so I wanted to get the perspective of a New Who fan on this review. But yeah, so, I mean, yeah, it's a dated documentary, and obviously some of the shoddy effects are still shoddy.
Yeah, some of the stuff they say is like, we all know the series is not going to end soon. It's not like straight after.
No.
Straight after the documentary, you have like a huge break.
No, because this this documentary was made after the show was cancelled. Bearing in mind, this was long after. This wasn't that long after, but it was ages after. Because when Silver Nemesis came out, that was the 25th anniversary of the show, and that was the 7th Doctor. And so it was obviously, so it would have been 4 years after. This was probably 1 or 2 years before the TV movie came out. So, yeah, that's fair enough.
Well, canon movie.
Yeah, it's the canon TV movie. But anyway, and even in this documentary, saying canon movie, they spoke about the Peter Cushing movies. And I like they did that. They didn't just set it aside, because the Peter Cushing movies
it counts as Doctor Who.
Because they were made by the same people and they were written, and they're the same stories. They're just like obviously colorized, and they have different actors, and I don't know.
They had the guy who plays Donna's granddad.
Yeah, Bernard Cribbins, he's in it.
He told me, I'm like, I don't recognise him.
No, exactly, yeah. So, I mean, after watching it as a New Who fan, what are your overall perspectives of this documentary? Because I'm actually really curious here.
Documentary I found actually quite interesting, like how they did stuff, yeah, and it showed some of the scenes, and I liked them. So
yeah, and speaking of it,
I never thought I'd say this, but I might actually ask him to let me watch them.
Yeah, because like I say, this is actually the question I was going to ask next. After watching this documentary, how much more excited are you to watch Classic Who now that you've watched this documentary?
Quite.
Yeah, because especially the bits of the shop window dummies in Spearhead from Space, they showed a lot of that, and you were like, "Whoa, shit, that's some good effects for the 70s."
Wow.
But yeah, because
there was the dinosaurs.
Yeah,
that hurts me.
You can't fault them on that. It's so, the effects are so bad that they're good. Okay, it's just how it is with some Classic Who episodes, along with the Green Death. But Green Death is excusable because it's such a good story. Good. All right, the Green Death is Joe Grant's departure story.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's pretty charming. It's a pretty charming documentary. I mean, it did really remind me, like, oh, I forgot that story was good or whatever, because they showed a couple clips from the Seeds of Doom, and I'm like, oh man, I haven't watched that one in ages with the, I forgot what they're called actually, but I mean that episode, I'm like, I might watch that again now after watching this. But
I found out what the original Silurium looked like. It's like,
yeah,
whoa.
I know exactly, because I mean, they made them seem way too human in the new. They're way too different for me in the new series. I don't like the new Who design as much, and you're probably the other way around. You don't really like the classic design as much, do you? Probably, or
I don't mind it.
Oh, fair enough. Well, look at that. Look at that. He's adapting. He's learning. But yeah,
well, it's. You have to take into mind like what they wanted to make them. They wanted to make them aliens.
Yeah, to make them more menacing. Yeah.
Whereas Modern Who's trying to make it, they are the same as us.
More relatable.
They came to our. They belonged on our planet before we did.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you can say the same about dinosaurs, but
But there's no way you... Okay, yeah, anyway. But yeah, like I say, Invasion of the Dinosaurs, probably the last classic Doctor Who story I'll ever show you because of the effects. But, come on, the writing is brilliant in it, though, actually. Anyway. But,
Say so.
But yeah, so, yeah. I mean, looking at this, I definitely do think that the next classic episode I'm going to show you is Spared from Space, definitely. Because, because it's so similar to Rose. Like the new Who episode Rose, because it's and it's such a good one to jump on with the classic series, because it's the first Doctor Who story in colour on television. It's it's the first John Pertwee story as well, and it's the start of the Earthbound era, the era where the Doctor is banished on Earth, and he's with Unit for the whole of it, and it's his first Liz Shaw episode as the companion. Yeah, no, it's not the first Brigadier story.
But it's like Unit Brigadier.
Yeah, exactly, the first story with that like arc, and it led through a couple of years that arc because Unit was so popular, which is really cool. But I think Spared from Space is definitely a safe bet. I'm definitely going to show you that one first. So expect the review on that in coming weeks or months. I don't know, but. Expect it coming soon, I suppose. Going back to this, I definitely, they did point out a lot of funny little clips in there of some cool cliffhangers. I even mentioned the Remembrance of the Daleks one, with when Ace is trapped by the 3 Daleks. Yeah. It's so cliche, and it's like, why haven't they shot her already? They said exterminate 10 times, and I don't know. You've got to credit. It's bad that it's good. Like I say.
Yeah, you can have cliffhanger. They had cliffhangers like that, where it's like logic is not explained.
No, but you just
and then you see Tom Baker's leg.
Fun.
Tom Baker's leg stuck in a train.
yeah. And it's like so dark, and it's like such a cliffhanger.
Or when he's being drowned, it's like
no. I think that was the 5th Doctor, but yeah, I'm not
pretty sure.
Shit, I don't actually know which episode that's from. I'm gonna have to.
Pretty sure that was Tom Baker, but okay.
But anyway, yeah, I don't know, but some cliffhangers just. Are so dark, yeah. Like you say, with the one in Deadly Assassin with the train and all that. And to be honest, I need to show you the Deadly Assassin because that's a Gallifrey story as well with the Master.
Okay.
So it is definitely one that I need to show you as well. That's a good one to show you actually. Tom Baker's a good Doctor. But yeah, and they were talking about the aliens having to be green, and green being one that
they have to be green. At the time of saying that, they showed a Zygon,
which was red, but.
It's like, they had to. A majority of them were green. Could you give us an example?
Yeah, but they did show the monsters from Seed to Doom. They showed why are all the names going from my head all of a sudden? They showed the Silurians. They showed the Sea Devils. They showed
a purple Yeti. Wait, those weren't Yetis. Why were they 2 different creatures?
No. You were thinking of the Yetis in the underground. They were talking about that as well, weren't they?
Yeah, they did.
The BBC got complaints for making so many things. They made they got a complaint that they were making policemen terrifying when that scene. And I think it was in Terror of the Autons where John Pertwee ripped off the face and found a dead-eyed. Oh, that was so creepy. Actually,
dead-eyed. You can't even explain it yet.
No, dead-eyed Auton just driving. That is such a scary thing to. Oh, I don't know, man. And that doll scene with the troll that came to life and strangled the mother. That was. Such a dark moment. I think that was a cliffhanger as well. So, like you say, scary cliffhangers. Yeah, again.
Yeah, and they also mentioned how it impacted the actual audience at the time. Like, where parents would complain, it's like, "Oh, this is too bad. Oh, you need to get rid of this." Children, keep it.
Keep going with it. Keep going with it. But yeah, it's really good. And they were talking about violence on the show, and obviously the producers and directors were going, "Yeah, we've got a good balance of violence and humour, especially in the 4th Doctor's era, because he had so much humour to counter all of the darkness in the monsters that he faced." But all of the parents were like, "No, there's too much violence. It's supposed to be a kids' show." And it's like, no, it's a family show. But
there is a difference.
Yeah, but I don't know, because it was so good, and they had a lot of spotlight on the Brigadier as well, didn't they? About because there was a segment which I actually wanted to watch today. It was remembering Nicholas Courtney, right? And you said no, we're watching more than 30 years, even though we could have clicked on. But yeah,
I didn't realise how long he was on. I just knew he was like Brigadier. I thought he was just a 3rd Doctor.
Yeah, to be fair,
with little references, not.
No, exactly, because the actor played a character in Dalek's Master Plan, but he wasn't the Brigadier. he played a different character in the first Doctor's episode, Dalek's Master Plan. But then in the second Doctor's era, he played the Brigadier. He played Lethbridge Stewart. He played Sergeant Lethbridge Stewart in Web of Fear with the Yeti, and then he played Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart in the Invasion.
Promoted.
In the Invasion, and then after that, we saw him in a loads of John Pertwee stories. And then we saw him a couple times, and maybe once or twice in the fourth Doctor's, then again in the fifth, and then I think in the sixth, maybe, I can't, if my memory serves me correct. Then in the seventh Doctor, in Battlefield. But it's cool though how long he lasted, and he even made an appearance in Sarah Jane Adventures, didn't he, later on, which is awesome, wasn't it? You don't remember? Oh, it was.
I need to keep up.
But in Sarah Jane Adventures, there was this episode with the Bane, I think, and he was in it. He was a lot older, but he gave Sarah Jane access to the Black Archive. We're gonna have to.
I'm so behind on Sarah Jane. I've forgotten so much. And we get to see it. We also got to see Elizabeth Sladen again.
Yes, exactly. And
like, anytime she was on, I just had a huge smile. I was like, that was my childhood. Not Doctor Who. Sarah Jane Adventures.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, it spoke about each Doctor's era and talking about how obviously John Pertwee was the most relatable because he was the scientist. He wasn't the hero that the new series has put him out to be. He's not a hero. He's a scientist who helps the human race, but ultimately he creates gadgets to defeat the aliens. He doesn't just punch them or zap his magic wand at them. You know what I mean? Because that's what the new hero has become, which is so sad.
Or a water pistol.
Yeah, or water pistol. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's funny because I didn't notice how many similarities there were between Tom Baker and Colin Baker, because both Doctors tried to make their Doctors seem a lot more alien. The fourth Doctor being with his humour and being very detached from emotions such as grief or like loss of life.
Yeah.
And Colin Baker on another level being a lot more grumpy and honestly, that's why I was excited about Peter Capaldi's era, I told him, because they were going down that route, but then obviously...
Or is it like the curls of the curls or something?
Probably. I guess. But yeah,
well, actually, Peter, to be fair, doesn't have as much curls, but...
No. But you know what I mean, though, because, like...
Just the big hair.
Yeah, exactly. By Twice Upon a Time, his hair got massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, the show was going down a really dark route with the Sixth Doctor, but people didn't like it, so they stripped him back to a likeable Doctor. I don't know. That's sad, isn't it?
Because it was for the kids.
Yeah, they got too many complaints at this point, and plus, but, I don't know. But anyway, I mean, in this documentary, I mean, it's really good actually, because they had all these little the snippets of where they reenacted episodes with the Sontaran, and then the St Paul's Cathedral with the Cybermen and all that. That was all fun. That was all fun. The Autons as well, the shop window dummies, they reenacted that from Spearhead from Space. It's all good. It is all good fun.
And as they were talking, like, you just see in the background, like, if you get bored of just the talking, you could just admire the background and just laugh.
Exactly. Because they did actually they showed snippets from actual episodes as well, which was really cool. Because, like you said, that makes you want to go, hey, can you show me more Classic Who now, Zach?
Yeah, I'm actually interested. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, even though for its time the effects were really good for the most part, if we just ignore Green Death and Dinosaur Invasion. What do you mean? What are you looking at me there for? What? But I mean, like I say, for its time, all of the action and explosions and all this madness that goes on, all the chaos, it does really depict, how good the show can be at times. I mean, there are those episodes like Underwater Menace or Underworld or Time Flight or Arkham Infinity.
Shall I leave you?
There are some bad ones.
You're gonna have another rant?
No, I'm fine.
You're gonna have a Stephen Moffat situation?
No, I'm not, because Stephen Moffat didn't touch the classic series. Thank fuck. Yeah, like I say, there are some bad ones, but it really does show that the classic series does have a lot of good episodes in there. I mean, yeah, like I said before, this documentary is very dated, but it's nice. It does really try to show you all of the real charming moments of the classic series and how good it can be, and that really does make me want to go back and watch them now, and hopefully you'll be seeing more classic series reviews of this guy to come, hopefully. But anyway, I don't know, because this episode was really fun actually, this documentary. Obviously,
keep saying episodes.
I know, I do, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's because of the stupid layout of the DVD cover, isn't it? I don't know. There isn't really much else to say about this. It was just showing the good side of classic series, which is good. It did what it meant to do. I don't know. I mean, I had a lot of good interviews actually with all of the existing companions that were alive at the time, and and they had an interview with Patrick Troughton, which was probably filmed before this was made, but all the same they did have it, and John Pertwee, Tom Baker, all that. It was good. Actually, no, they didn't have a They didn't have an interview with Peter Davidson, weirdly, which is weird, but whatever. I mean, no, it was good. Still can't get over the cover. It looks so cheesy. Anyway, I mean, it did its job. It makes me want to watch Classic Who now, so I don't know. It's good for what it was. That's pretty much it. I don't know what else to say, really. It was kind of frittled out at the end.
Honestly, it was all you. Honestly, it's just all you in this review.
Yeah, but because you're new.
Because you know the stuff, like it's for you. It's nostalgia. For me, it's just.
Yeah. But
I want to watch it.
But seriously though, like just tell me what you think of it. Like overall, like all of the bits you saw, what do you actually think of it? Like of the documentary and what it did.
Well, it did what it was supposed to, make people interested to watch the previous episode, so that they can have respect for the modern one, see how it's developed.
Exactly, actually. Because,
which is one of the main reasons why I want to watch the old ones, so I can respect how it's all changed over the years. Yeah,
exactly. That's true, I guess. Yeah.
And if I complain about a certain doctor, I could think back about anything else. Like, to be fair, there are problems here, there.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs.
Exactly. Always going back to the fucking dinosaurs, aren't you?
Let alone they're actually historically incorrect.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, it does. I mean, for a new Who fan, I expect it looks a lot like, oh wow, Doctor has a really long history. Looking at it like that, it's very daunting. Like, I mean, I know looking at the Doctor Who DVD collection, looking at all of the episodes that exist, it may already seem that, oh crap, this show has a long history. But I mean, looking at the documentary, it really does sum it up quite well, I guess, doesn't it? Honestly, I feel like they should have spoke a bit more about the first Doctor era, but that's been covered now with what's it called, with Adventure in Space and Time of David Bradley now. So that's not really needed anymore. But
I'm just really wanted to see the scene where William's in the Dalek.
Yes, and he's lived in his head. I was like, I fooled them all. I am the master. Them all. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Yeah, but
that one I definitely want to see just for that scene.
Yeah, that was.
I've always wanted to.
Yeah, it was Space Museum, and it's actually my favourite Hartnell story.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean it's not everyone's favourite Hartnell story, so it might not be your cup of tea, but it's
okay. He was in a Dalek suit.
Yeah, but it's a fun story actually. I just like how simple it is, but it's one of the first timey-wimey stories. I hate that word, timey. Oh,
I know you hesitate every time, like timey-wimey.
Yes. But no, it's But yeah, there are some stories. So actually, no, let's look through what episodes we actually need to show you now after looking at it. Okay, so let's have a look here. We've got Spearhead from Space is a definite. We're going to need to watch this. Probably the first one.
You said quite a lot of the third Doctor because if I like James Bond.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, James Bond, because you were very intrigued with the Scottish companion Jamie. So I'm like, oh, and also obviously you quite like Matt
I think I just like Scottish actors.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like you also said that you were intrigued with the second Doctor's bounciness and his humour, like the 11th Doctor. So so I had the idea of maybe showing him like any enemy of the world, because it has this James Bond-esque feel to it and everything, which is good. And like I say, look at Salamander.
That's a doppelganger.
Yeah, Salamander, doppelganger. It's a really good story, actually. It really is. It's really underrated.
Is that a different actor? Or
no, same actor.
I was about to say, it's like either they actually found an actual doppelganger, or they just made him look really different.
It's a really good story, and this was actually recovered in 2013.
Really?
Yeah, it was found by a collector along with Web of Fear. Even though Web of Fear episode 3 is still missing, every other episode is recovered, and this story was really overlooked and despised because of it being only existing on audio for the longest time, but now it's recovered, the episodes. Everyone loves it now, which I'm so happy about, because it's a really good story, actually. One of my favourite Troutons.
It's set in the 21st century.
Exactly. It's really good.
What they predict was going to be. and what
I
the
love it when
reality
Doctor Who.
is.
I love it when Doctor Who does that, doesn't it?
Here.
Yeah, I guess.
Is it there?
Yeah, he's trying to put the DVD back. But yeah, like I said, I do love it when the Doctor Who tries to predict the future, like the near future.
It's just any show.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're going to the future. Oh, it's 2013. Have fun. Back to the future. Just have fun.
Exactly. Like I say, so Spearhead from Space is a definite. I want to show you Enemy of the World at some point, but maybe not immediately because it's black and white and it's got a different feel to it to the Doctor Who you're familiar with. Definitely want to show you some Tom Baker as well. Definitely Genesis of the Daleks. I don't think you've actually seen it in its entirety yet.
No, I've just seen scenes.
No, yeah, it is actually no. Ark in Space is a really good one that I want to show you as well because that is got the premise of Alien, actually, the film Alien.
Yeah, I know what Alien.
Yeah, exactly. It's very. Be warned, the special effects are terrible in comparison to Alien, but the
what
story
about compared
is
to
very
dinosaurs?
amazing in comparison to dinosaurs. But I mean, yeah.
I'm just gonna go every time I talk about rubbish.
Is it better than dinosaurs? Then I'm happy. But yeah, so like I say, to be honest, I just want to. At some point, I'm just going to run you through all of season 12: Robot, Ark in Space, Sontaran Experiment, Genesis of the Daleks, and Revenge of the Cybermen. Those 5 stories are all spot on, actually. Okay. Season 12 is my favourite series of Doctor Who, actually. It's an amazing series. First series of Tom Baker. But yeah, and then obviously you want to see Space Museum at some point, because that's got the scene in it of Hartnell and the Dalek. Yeah. Apart from that, looking at the 80s, you've already seen Remembrance of the Daleks, so I won't need to show you that.
I've seen bits of it.
Yeah. I want to show you Survival, because that's the final story with the classic series, and that's the bit where he goes, "If we fight, we'll destroy this planet. We'll destroy ourselves." It's a brilliant episode. It's a brilliant story, actually. It's a brilliant story. It's ultimate standoff with the Doctor and the Master. It's brilliant, that story. But yeah, Curse of Fenric is a good one.
I've seen Unearthly Earth. Unearthly Child.
You've seen part 1 of Unearthly Child.
Fair enough.
Because part 2, 3 and 4 have a part of the cavemen, and I'm pretty sure you don't remember watching that.
No, I just remember you watching the first one.
Yeah, because when they enter the TARDIS. And yeah, it's basically the pilot episode. He's watched that, which is good, at least. Yeah, I completely forgot about that, actually. But yeah, we tried to...
You made me watch it!
Yeah, we tried to record it as a commentary, but that went south, didn't it? But whatever. Apart from that, I want to show you a couple Pertwee episodes. Maybe Doctor Who and the Silurians, because that's quite a good one. It's very similar to Hungry Earth and Cold Blood with Amy and the 11th Doctor. It's very similar to that story with the writing wise. So you might be a lot more feel at home with the writing of that story. So yeah. Apart from that, I'm not sure really. Just cherry pick the good ones. Apart from that, but definitely Spearhead from Space is the next one, and classic series wise for us to review. Okay. But yeah, that pretty much concludes the review of More Than 30 Years in the TARDIS. Good documentary, very dated. Preferred Adventure in Space and Time with David Bradley, but it was good for what it was. It had some great interviews in there. It did really depict some of the better side of the classic series. I don't know, it was good. You thought it was good. You thought it was... I mean, he's more excited for watching classic series, so he did his job, the documentary. So yeah, it's a win in my book. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Review in Space. I nearly forgot what the series was called. But anyway, so yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. See you guys later. Goodbye.
See ya.
Still never going to watch Kane and Company. Never again! I can't keep on being somebody else. That's about it. Yay.